recording it now because this is the funny stuff.
Are you okay? Hold on. I have to get a thing right. You would think I would be more prepared.
Didn't have the ring light.
In my podcast.
Call yourself
and I'm in
photographer.
pajamas.
You're in pajamas. See, I'm wearing nice clothes.
You're in a
I got dressed up.
scrub bottoms.
They can't see what I'm wearing.
Well, okay, hold on 1 second.
All right, wait for the ring light. There it is.
Okay. Whew.
And it's not working.
No, it's because you have to press the on button.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Woo! That's really bright. I think that's a
There we
little
go.
too bright for
Oh, no.
us.
It's always going to seem too bright.
Is it?
One thing you learn okay, yeah,
Ooh,
it's bright.
that's bright. That's
Hold on. How
hold
do you
on.
turn it down?
There's a button.
Oh,
right
man, it burns.
there. It burned. Okay.
Let's see.
Sorry, now you got
down.
cords in the background and fine.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. How about?
Okay.
Let me put it.
Oh, now it's like facing me. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to the second episode of my podcast, Our Unfiltered Life. And it is very unfiltered, as you can see. My chair
I
is.
just got home from work. I haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah. It's
And
made. It's made. It's in the kitchen.
I'm drinking my apple juice, which I have every night.
And my grape juice. Cheers, honey.
Cheers.
We tried to actually do this podcast last night, and for some reason, our internet stopped working. So that was a no-go. So we played a game instead. Okay. So today we're going to delve into mainly what we think is the most important thing in a marriage. And I thought, hey, what better person to talk to about this than my husband? So we decided to do
Same wavelength.
we decided to do a thing where we will write down secretively, like the newlywed game, what we think is the most important
Hold
thing.
on. Should we do like 4 of these in case we want to do something else later?
We can, or we can just
Instead
go
of
get.
just doing one.
I mean, we have paper here that we can
Oh.
grab if we need to. I mean, it's not a big
Well, I
deal.
already folded mine.
Okay, well, unfold it. Okay, don't look at
Keep
what
them
I'm.
unfolded.
Okay. Okay, so we're only picking one thing, which I think is really difficult to do. Oh, I thought I took the kitty out. Okay. We're going to write down what we think is the most important thing in a marriage.
Oh.
And that.
I thought it was something else. Hold on.
No, you wrote that. You wrote that.
I forgot what the question was.
What's the most important thing in marriage? I saw what he wrote. I saw what you wrote.
I did not forget what the most important thing in marriage is. Thanks very much.
That's very true. This guy has me laughing all the time.
And that.
Okay, well, this is what I think is most important. And I think a lot of people do as well.
And that would be my answer if I wasn't having.
Right.
A sense of-
Right. Trust is very, very important.
So we both agree on that.
Yeah, I think in any marriage, in any relationship, not just marriages, trust is, I think, the number one, because if you don't have trust.
Yeah, there's some relationships more important than marriage where trust is the number one thing.
Like your doctor.
Like the military,
Well, yeah.
the general.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Those type of relationships. But I think that in a marriage, if you don't have trust, if you don't have that foundation built, there's nothing to fall back on. And I think that is what how a lot of divorces happen. What do you think? Yes? Trust?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if trust would be the number one thing that messes up most divorces
You mean
But-
marriages?
or
Don't,
messes
don't, don't be in that headspace.
All right, every time I'm going to take a drink of apple juice every time I make a mistake.
So
It's only going to make it better.
yeah, I think that our marriage, I think trust has been built with a lot of different things throughout our marriage,
Yeah.
to the point where now the cat.
That's a distraction. We want them
Well,
focused on us.
I know. I can't help it. We got cute animals. But
I might
I
help boost our
remember,
views.
maybe, I
Okay.
remember,
They did a study that showed animals are starting to watch TV now.
oh, well, Samson was watching Homeward Bound today with our 4-year-old son. So he was very into that. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. I remember listening to a song Where are you going, honey? Your scrubs are on our bed. Stop putting your dirty work clothes on our bed. Okay, I remember driving in the car and the song, I think it's called Foundation or Bone. I don't even remember what it's called, to be honest, but it's a country song and
We'll find it and we'll put it in right here.
It was like, the foundation is so strong that no matter what happens, if the walls are falling down and the windows are breaking, like we still will be here because our foundation is so strong.
Right.
Then you know what song I'm talking about?
I mean, I know the Bible verse.
Or the Bible verse, but I remember the song
A house
playing.
built on stone versus a house built on sand.
Right. But I'm just saying, in my mind, I clearly remember driving down the road and that song came on. It was brand new. And you looked at me and you said, this is our song because our foundation is so strong that we've dealt with a lot of things in our marriage that are not in our control. Some that are in our control. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't remember the song.
You don't? Okay.
No.
I'm going to look it up while we're doing this because it's a Maren Morris song. It's a Maren Morris song. If Charlotte was here, she would know what it's called.
Is it the Follow Your Arrow?
No, that's not Maren Morris.
That's Casey Mustard.
Anyway, it's a Maren Morris song. I forget what it's called, but anyway, it's about foundation. And I feel like if relationships, if they're not, starting out as friends, I think that's super important. Starting out as friends, getting to know each other, asking each other the important questions before you take that next step. And I think that our friendship lasted like a year before we took that step and we really knew each other. I knew all of your baggage because I was dealing with it with you. I knew all the bad things and I still wanted the relationship and vice versa. We kind of grew into each other that way. Does that make sense?
You don't have any baggage either.
Oh, honey.
Baggage free.
Yeah, that's true.
Zero baggage.
That's true. When I had put this out there for people on my social media, that was one of the main things they wanted to know about was what was most important in marriage. That was one of the topics. And so in every marriage, it's different, but a lot of it is trust, right? In a lot of different marriages. Oh, are we doing that already?
No, I was just putting them there so we didn't forget.
It wasn't these two. It was these two, hon. Okay.
Well, now we have to tell them what we're talking about.
Okay.
All right. We got these two cards here.
It's the same thing we did last time
We're
with the
gonna do
relationship deck and the intimacy deck.
one in the beginning and one at the end, or we're just saving them both for the end.
But I really did want to talk, trust and sense of humor, because I do think that's very important, especially when you're dealing with stressful situations in life.
But all kidding aside, this is the most important, I do believe.
Okay.
So, hands down, 100% trust. You can't say, oh, well, I think communication is the most important thing. Well, communication is how you build trust. So trust is the most important thing. Do you trust the person?
Right.
Do you trust me?
Right.
Aladdin holding out his hand for Jasmine. Do you trust me? That's the most important thing.
Yes, I will ride the magic carpet.
She risked her life on that
for
leap
someone
of faith.
she barely even knew.
I know.
I mean, that's kind
crazy.
of.
I don't know what we're trying to teach
Disney.
our kids.
But yes, trust. I think that you can have, all the other things. You can have the sense of humor. You can have a good sex life. You can have, who you think is a great friend and your partner. But if you do not trust them, then what do you actually have, to be honest? Right?
Well, you have to have the kind of trust, I think. I mean, I don't know. My mind always goes towards like CIA and KGB. And there's a spy. There's some type of conspiracy involved. There's this
the
whole
court is really bothering me.
Everything's somehow, some way, something happens that's horrible in the world, horrible in your relationship, horrible in your life, whatever it is. And there's going to be a time where you're going to need to know that person has my back no matter what.
Yes.
And they have to know the same thing about you.
Right.
Where someone could come present me with evidence right now that says that my wife cheated on me or my wife did, this. They could have picture evidence. They could have video evidence. And I'd have to be the one that, I'm not saying to be naive, but at the same time, like you can't just
be skeptical,
You
right?
can't just like if I really trust her, if I really know, then I would know, even seeing video evidence that I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I mean, who
There's
knows nowadays? There's
AI.
AI everything
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
So
That's scary. That's going to be another topic we're going to talk about a lot because, yeah, the AI world is really damaging relationships.
I mean, there's definitely, I mean, every technology has pros and cons. So AI is great for certain areas. I mean, there's things that AI is going to do that's going to revolutionize tons of different industries,
But not
in our
marriage
life.
industry.
And it's great, and it's already doing it. But there's also going to be a lot of bad things about AI.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
like Terminator.
Do you think Samson's listening, taking all this in?
I think he's quite entertaining.
He's like, what time's bed? Okay, so stress is number one.
So, how many minutes are we in here?
11.
11.
Right there.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do a card
All right.
and I'll let you do it.
Describe, if any, ways in which our relationship has changed to you.
Are you going to answer first or am I going to answer first? You can go first.
I think it's for me, right?
We both answer, remember, like last time.
Describe, if
It's for
any,
both of us.
ways in which our relationship has changed you.
Yeah.
Well, before our relationship, I thought that it was man's job to basically martyr himself on the ground for whatever the woman wants.
Mhm.
And that no matter what, if she was unhappy, I thought I was doing something wrong. And that's how I went into, I don't know if it was part of how I was raised, like hearing things, the key to a good marriage.
Happy
wife.
Happy wife,
happy
happy
life.
life.
So
Yeah.
you keep her happy, then you're going to be happy. So that was what I thought. So I went
Mhm.
into my first marriage with happy wife, happy life mentality. And that was the worst mentality I could have freaking had. But I didn't know how to set my own boundaries. So
Mhm.
boundaries
Healthy boundaries.
is an important thing.
Yeah.
So now I know that I set my boundaries and I set my expectations and I let the love of my life, my beautiful wife here, know
Yeah.
that if she doesn't have all my laundry folded and dinner cooked as soon as I get home and takes my shoes off,
Oh, man.
washes my feet with her hair with
Get
perfume.
out of here. I will say I thought about this yesterday because I was taking a shower. You were watching Max. This was yesterday morning. And as I was getting out of the shower, I saw you come in with a load of laundry and put it on the bed and start folding it. And my instinct was to be like, no, honey, leave it for me to do. Because that's just like, I felt weird that you were like helping me out with the laundry, which I think is interesting to point out. As a married couple, we do things as a couple, as a partnership, and you help out and I help out, but we still in our own way have that like, oh, well, I'm the stay-at-home mom, so I'm going to do all the laundry. And yeah, we were backed up because we had the kids and we were out of town and we had a ton of laundry to do. But my initial instinct was to be like, no, put that down. I will take care of that. But I didn't. And I had to let you take care of it, which was wonderful. But I just wanted to point out that I appreciated that. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, so is that it? The only way I've changed you in our relation, or the only ways that our relationship has changed you is setting boundaries?
I mean, when I first met you, I mean, we started off as friends and I felt like you were just like me. I kept thinking that to myself. I was like, man, she's just like me in all these different ways. You're totally not like me in a lot of ways. Definitely not. But
Because I'm awesome.
there were a lot of ways that she was just like me. So,
Yeah.
and I really felt like we were best friends first.
Yes, absolutely.
So-
That's what I'm saying. The foundation. Build the foundation first. Best friends first. But I think we took that to heart, the best friend thing. We were at a time in our life where you were really struggling and I was struggling, and we kind of met at that weird struggling
And
stage.
that's not the right time to meet.
Not at
somebody.
all. Not at all.
No.
And he was like, no, I'm on this path to do this. And I'm like, cool, you do your thing. And I'm on this path. Like, I'm just not getting divorced. Like, I don't want to do anything. and we just hung out every day. And
Our first song was If It Was Written in the Stars
yes,
or the Sand.
yes,
And if it's meant to be, it'll be.
yeah.
She hated it, but I told her
And
that
every
was
time I
my
hear
song.
those songs on the radio, I turn them off.
So, was it meant to be?
It was.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
So it worked out.
It did work out. I think for me, the way that I have changed in our relationship is that I have become more trusting in a way, because previous relationships taught me that I wasn't as important. Like I wasn't number one in.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So we have the next card.
I'm going to slap him on camera. But seriously, like I was taught that I wasn't important. And you taught me differently, and that I was important. And I remember one day waking up and being like, oh, this man, every day that I walk in the room, he grabs my face and kisses me and says, have I told you lately that I love you? And just that little thing like was so special to me and really made me feel important. Stop petting the dog when this is a running joke in our marriage that he loves the dog more than me, because
I do the same thing to Samson.
he loves the dog.
I grab
so
his
much.
face and I kiss him. I tell him
I know.
how much
He
I
really
missed him all
He
day.
really does love the dog a lot. But the dog loves him too. Samson, well, you do.
No.
All right. What do you think is missing from our relationship currently? That's a deep one right there. What's missing?
I got it.
Oh, you're going to write it down?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to write it down
Yes,
too?
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know we were going to ask this question.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Because mine's definitely the answer.
So it's fine. We got the same answer then. Okay, what's the most practical answer? Like who's right? Who's right
This is
here?
a relationship.
Let's put it in the comments below.
This is a relationship.
Which one is more practical
Yeah. Okay, more money.
in real life?
Everybody could use more money. More time together. I win. I win this one. Because
We spend enough time together.
no, I'm talking about like
Oh my God. We're together all the time.
Honey,
I can't get away from you. I try.
these people are going to think that you hate me. Okay, I'm talking about like uninterrupted. The only time we've ever had uninterrupted time together was our honeymoon. We try to
we
make it a
have
point to
4 kids.
we try to make it a point to
From
do
time to
date
time.
nights. And when we have extra money or gift cards, which we do, a lot from time to time, then we definitely make it a point to go on date nights. And I think that's very important. More time together, because your spouse is number one. That's the person you're going to grow old with. So
Yeah.
you got to foster that relationship 100%.
And that's the thing.
Kids around.
So everyone, there's probably a 50-50 divide in the world, I would guess, about if you were to ask somebody, what's more important, your spouse or your children? And I would say probably 50% of the people would say their spouse, 50% of the people would say their children.
I have a
And-
really great answer to this, by the way.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I think it depends on
See
the
if she's
situation.
right.
I think it depends on the
Let's do
situation.
this.
I think our children are our lives. Guess what? My husband is my life. So if my husband needs more of my attention, he's going to get that. If Max falls and hurts himself and he needs more of my attention, he's going to get that. If Charlotte
Okay,
is
that's
upset,
anyone could say that.
well, that's my answer, and it's the best kind,
Okay.
because it really
better
does really
answer-
depend. It does
A
depend.
better answer is making a decision. All right. Who are you going to choose? Sophie's choice.
No, I don't like Sophie's choice.
You can choose
focus.
to not like Sophie's choice all you want, but if Sophie's choice happens, if you've thought about it ahead of time, you'll be more prepared for it.
Yeah, but Sophie's
And
choice
that's what
is
the
totally
military
different.
teaches you.
It's different because
Situational awareness. Always think about what could happen and always be ready. Keep your head on a swivel. Situational awareness. when you're out in the mall and you're walking through the crowds, think about what's going to happen if there's an active shooter situation right now. What am I going to do? Where's the nearest exit? Where can I go?
Well-
What am I going to do with my wife? What am
God.
I going to do with my kids?
Right.
How am I going to
his brain
protect other
feels like this.
people?
Everywhere we go, his brain works. like
So,
this.
same thing as the mall situation. Everybody should do that, by the way. Common sense. But not so common. I don't know. Maybe it's military trained, whatever.
It is.
But I did it before the military. I would think about what would
I mean,
do
I do too,
if
to
someone
an
tried to
extent,
kidnap
but
me
I don't
when I
like-
was a kid.
Yes, I did as well, actually. That's
Okay.
something that we should talk about later. But yes, and I do think like, hey, if something were to happen, and we'll even throw that out to our teenager, hey, if this situation were to happen right now, what would you do? So that she kind of thinks about that kind of stuff. And we've done
All right.
that.
So Sophie's choice.
And what is
Me?
the situation?
Me or one of our children.
Well, what's the situation?
Any situation where you would have to pick life or death.
Well, I'm sorry, honey, but I'm going to go with our children because they can't survive on their own. I would have to protect them. But that's not the question. I think the question is like,
See,
what?
my answer is my spouse. The amount of love I have for my children
Oh my gosh.
is like, it feels like so much. Absolutely. But it also the amount of love I have for you is so much. Absolutely. And yes, you want to protect your children.
Himself out. He's digging himself out. Honey,
So
I think the question wasn't
you have,
revolving.
you have your children from age 0 or before that, really,
to 18.
to 18.
Yes.
You have your spouse for
Yes.
100 years.
Yes. Well, that's why I said it depends
know,
on the situation because
because
you have
I'm
to
living
foster.
to 140.
Oh god, it's a lot of coffee.
She makes my coffee for me every morning.
Yes, I do.
She's a good
and
wife.
every afternoon, and every
Any
afternoon,
woman out
and every
there-
afternoon.
Find out what it is your man likes
Uh-huh.
and do that for him.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have his heart.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good ending to our second episode.
Well, did we do the other one?
Yeah, that was the other one.
No, that was it. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us again. And I believe my next episode will be a really interesting one about co-parenting, and it will be with one of my co-parents. So that will be exciting.
I'm going to go eat crab leg
And clam chowder.
and clam chowder.
Yes, I'm that awesome.
That's a good woman.
Bye.